Let's talk about a hidden force that shapes, well, almost everything. Politics, marketing, even our daily lives. We're talking about the art of seduction. And trust me, understanding it is one of the keys to unlocking a whole new kind of power in today's world.
Now, when you hear the word seduction, your mind probably jumps straight to romance, right? And look, that's definitely part of it, but it's only a tiny, tiny piece of the puzzle. The truth is, seduction is one of the most powerful and seriously misunderstood forms of influence out there. So let's really get into what that means.
You see, back in the day, power was pretty straightforward. It was all about brute force. If you wanted something, you could just take it. But today, the world just doesn't work like that anymore. The new currency of power is influence. It's attraction. And yeah, it's seduction. It's the subtle art of making people want to do what you want them to do. Just think about it for a second. Politicians, huge brands, modern leaders, they all use these exact principles to win us over.
So, how do you actually master this art? Well, we're diving into the work of Robert Greene here, and according to him, it isn't about memorizing cheesy pickup lines or faking a personality. No, it's a two-step process that starts with some deep self-awareness.
Step 1 is all about understanding yourself, figuring out which of the natural seductive archetypes you already have inside you. And step 2? That's about understanding your target. Now for today, we're going to focus entirely on that crucial first step, discovering which of the 9 types of seducers you are.
Let's kick things off with the archetypes whose power is just undeniable. These are the seducers who command attention the second they walk into a room. Their presence is so strong, it's pretty much impossible to ignore.
First up, we have the siren. And yeah, that name comes straight from Greek mythology. You know, the creatures whose song was so beautiful, so irresistible, that it lured sailors to their doom. The modern siren works in a pretty similar way, using this powerful, almost hypnotic allure.
So the siren basically represents the ultimate physical fantasy. But their power isn't just about good looks. It's this confident, raw sexual energy mixed with just a hint of danger. And that combination is so potent, it can completely shut down a person's rational mind. The classic example, of course, is Cleopatra. Her charm was so legendary that she had powerful leaders like Julius Caesar just forgetting about their duties, their kingdoms, everything, all for her.
Next, we've got what you could call the male counterpart to the siren, the rake. While the siren's power is very visual, the rake's power comes from their intense, totally unapologetic desire.
The rake is completely consumed by their desire, and they are not afraid to show it. We're talking about someone willing to risk their reputation, their safety, literally everything for the person they're after. And that level of devotion is incredibly thrilling. Sure, they can be dangerous, disloyal, even amoral, but honestly, that's part of the appeal. The Duc de Richelieu was a perfect example. He risked his own life just to sneak into a lover's room. That kind of passion is both terrifying and completely irresistible.
Now, our third archetype in this group takes a totally different path. The ideal lover doesn't project their own desires. Instead, they become a kind of mirror, reflecting the hidden fantasies of their target right back at them.
See, the ideal lover is a master observer. They study someone, they listen really, really closely, and they figure out what's missing from that person's life, what secret desire they have. And then, they literally transform themselves into the embodiment of that fantasy. The legendary Casanova was a master of this. He didn't have one set approach. He'd figure out if someone secretly craved adventure, or a spiritual connection, or an intellectual equal, and then he would become the exact person they'd always dreamed of meeting.
Okay, let's move on to our next group. These archetypes use much more subtle, indirect methods. They don't overwhelm you, they intrigue you. They create this slow burn of fascination that just pulls you in over time. First in this group is the dandy. Their power is all about ambiguity. By playing with both masculine and feminine traits, they create this fascinating, fluid identity that keeps people completely off balance and hooked. Then you've got the natural. In a world that can feel pretty cynical, their charm comes from a childlike innocence and spontaneity. Think about someone like Charlie Chaplin on screen. That genuine, unjaded energy feels so refreshing and it just draws you in. And finally, the coquette. This one is a master of psychological games. They're experts at withholding attention. They'll pull you in, make you feel like the center of the universe, and then suddenly go cold, leaving you confused and desperate. This hot and cold dynamic, famously used by Josephine on Napoleon, creates a powerful addiction that can drive people absolutely mad.
All right, our final group operates on a much bigger scale. These are the social masters. Their seductive power can influence not just one person, but entire crowds. Their skills are psychological and deeply, deeply charismatic.
The charmer's power seems simple, but it is incredibly effective. They make you the absolute center of their world. In a culture where everyone is distracted, their focused attention feels like a powerful drug. They listen, they make you feel seen, and they boost your ego like no one else. The charismatic, on the other hand, doesn't focus on you, but on some grand idea or purpose. They radiate this inner fire, a confidence and passion that's so contagious, people feel energized just being near them and can't help but follow. And finally, there's the star. Their allure comes from seeming to exist on a completely different plane. They are a living, breathing fantasy, an escape from everyday, boring reality. And that distance, that unattainability, it doesn't push people away. It actually makes them even more desirable.
So there you have it. We've just walked through 9 completely distinct archetypes of seduction. Each one holds its own unique kind of power. And the goal here isn't to just slap a label on yourself, but understand the natural strengths you might already have.
And here's where it gets really interesting. According to Green, once you figure out your own type, the strategy isn't to go find someone just like you. No way. Real attraction often sparks from opposition. A super passionate charismatic might be drawn to a mysterious coquette. An ideal lover might find their perfect match in someone who's completely captivated by a distant star. Knowing your own nature is the key to finding that complementary force.
And really, this brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. This isn't just a list of labels, it's a toolbox. It's a set of potential identities. Recognizing these archetypes in yourself and in others gives you a whole new way of looking at the world. So the real question to leave you with is this: now that you know the types, who do you have the power to become?